another good one, but this is not a good one. This is a tragedy story of a little boy that lost his life, basically over carelessness of a contractor in Alabama, and this is sad. This is a sad situation, and some reports saying that the young boy is 3 or 5, and nevertheless, we have a baby boy gone, But before I get into this topic, I'm gonna show a video. Let's show the video of the father, okay? So here we go.
I'm talking about when I say yeah, respectful.
This is how Katorius Starks Sr. remembers his 3-year-old son. Katorius Starks Jr. was found dead hours after being left in a hot car.
I know in between 11:30 and 12 o'clock, I'd say 12:15, he should have been back in the daycare.
Police say a contract worker with the Alabama Department of Resources left the child unattended on Pine Tree Drive.
Like when he leave me, he's supposed to go right back to the daycare.
The Alabama Department of Human Resources says the employee has been terminated.
His foster parent drops him off at daycare. The transporter of DHR picks them up from daycare and then bring him to the DHR building in Bessemer to have supervised visitation.
The Starks family wants the worker to be held accountable beyond losing their job.
Because it was neglect. I feel personally that he was neglected, and that's the true cause of his death.
Starks Sr. says he hopes to uplift his family by remembering his son's life.
Yes, man. I'm talking, I knew how to count, knew his color, 3 years old. Knew all the animals. I'm talking about, he was very intelligent.
Yes, he was, bro. He was real nice and all that.
Like, he was just joyful.
Yeah.
Ioniq 5 versus Volkswagen ID4. Look what Ioniq 5.
This is a sad situation to lose your son like this. Now we got the correct age. His son was 3 years old, so I'm gonna change it from 5 to 3 years old. You know, this is a sad situation. This is any parent worst nightmare, to know that your child was gone and perished by somebody else's hands. For whatever reason, the child was in somebody else's care and wasn't with the parent at the time. I'm thinking that something was going on, probably domestic violence, something was going on. So I'm thinking ATS had the child and they was, doing visitation and stuff like that. And reports saying that the contractor basically had the child in the car, but then went shopping for the family. That's what they're saying. Like, how can you forget that child in the car like that? You know there's a child in your car. You know there's a child in your custody. How can you neglect and have that type of mindset to leave a child where it's burning up in the back of the car? Because you know why? You never looked back and looked in the car. You just got up and just left. Whatever, you got the call that somebody was in need, and you forgot that child was there, and the child probably wasn't making noise, and the child was just sitting there quiet, and you forgot the child was back there. That's exactly what happened. So I hope and pray that this person is very, very remorseful and is crying, because there's nothing like losing a child, especially 3 years old. And we don't know how his life would have turned out to be. And I send my condolences to the family, to the loved ones, and to this young baby that we will never know, that we lost to neglect of an adult making moves and having emotion about going shopping for their family. That's what some reports were saying, that the contractor was going on a shopping spree for a family member and forgot the child. See, the child was back there, the little boy was back there, he wasn't making noise. That's what happened. He wasn't making noise. So being that he wasn't making noise, he wasn't misbehaving. The person forgot that the child was back there. Child was very quiet. Probably gave the little boy some toys or whatever, and the child died from all that heat, ventilation. There's no oxygen in there. You know, the child was hollering and screaming, probably beating on the window, and then you in a remote place where there's not a lot of traffic and nobody's not there, and boom. Like, this is neglect. This is neglect at its highest form, and this is sad. It's very sad to lose a child. You know, people. I'm looking at people talking about they better sue the state for millions of dollars. It's not about the money. It's about losing your loved one. No money, no amount of money will ever bring that baby back. I don't know if you take the money, you buy this, you buy that. You just no amount of money will ever replace that baby. And this is what people do. Oh, I'm gonna give you money. Nah, I want my child back. I want my child back. You know, and it's sad that they need to do a better job. And why would you be doing that while you on duty, going shopping for somebody? That's what they said. You was going shopping. How you doing, James? How you doing, Divine? How you doing? Hello. How you doing? I'm so happy that you are here. We talking about the young little boy that lost his life in Alabama from a contractor, basically, that had the little boy, that was taking the little boy to go see his father or see his parents. At the time, the boy probably was in their custody for it looked like some domestic violence that was going on. The boy was taken out the home for whatever reason, and the contractor left the little boy inside the car, and it was burning up. It was burning up, triple, dipple. It was like 100-something degrees, 115. It felt like 115, 120. And left the child in the car, locked the car, and bolted. The child was only 3 years old, the little boy, and the boy died. This is sad. No water, no nothing, no communication, no nothing. The child don't know what to do. This is sad, man. This is sad. This is any parent worstest nightmare, to lose a child that age, or just lose a child, period. I couldn't imagine. Dino, how you doing? How you doing? I'm happy that you are here. I appreciate that you being here. I really appreciate it. So, you know, this is really, really sad. It's really, really sad. They need to do better. They need to do better. You know, the parents need to do better. The system needs to do better. Everybody failed this little boy. The parents failed the boy. The people that was in charge with the boy failed the boy. Everybody failed the boy. Everybody failed him. You know, and everybody contributing. And I'm gonna blame. That's who I'm gonna blame. I'm gonna blame the parents, and I'm gonna blame the people that was in charge of this boy, because, like the father said, if he was in my custody, he wouldn't be there. No, but why was he taken out custody? Why was he taken out from you and the mother in the first place? What was going on? You know, you needed to get yourself together. They wanted to get your son back. Something was going on, some domestic violence stuff that was going on there. I'm not saying that you're not bad parents, but you failed us young. You failed your son. The system failed them, and it's not the end of it, but this is sad. This is sad. You got to make better decisions. And I'm not going to beat you up, because this is a time to grieve your son. This is a time to grieve your son, and this is sad. I appreciate it that you subscribe to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Dino, that you subscribe to me. I really, really appreciate it. How you doing, Mango? How you doing? How you guys doing? And you know, this is a sad situation for any parent to lose a child, especially be so young. To be so young like that, it's really
By the
tough.
cow, knew his color, 3 years old. Knew all the animals. He was very intelligent.
This week in Alabama, a family is demanding answers after their 3-year-old died while in custody of the Department of Human Resources, the state's version of Child Protective Services. Officials say the driver stopped for food, tobacco, and at home, leaving the boy for hours in a car that likely exceeded 150 degrees. According to nonprofit Kids in Car Safety, on average, 40 children die each year in hot cars. 16 kids have died this year.
Majority can be prevented. Even if you leave the window cracked a little bit, that doesn't help.
That's the misconception that caused a 9-year-old girl to die this month, according to Houston Fire Chief Thomas Munoz.
This is sad. So now there's more reports that he stopped for food, cigarettes, probably alcohol and all this other stuff. Once they do the investigation, now if he did this, then yeah, of course, Lily, this is heartbreaking. Yes, this is sad for any parent to basically lose their child, you know, and 3 years old. This is sad. Like you stop for cigarettes and food. No, they were saying that you went on a shopping spree, and for 5 hours you was gone. Come on now, you should go to jail for this. You should go to jail for this. This person that did this, committed this act of neglect, child neglect. This is child neglect. This person supposed to go to jail. Person supposed to go to jail. And my question is this. The parents failed their son for whatever reason. He was taken out the home and placed in child protection custody for whatever reason. I guess they was fighting to get their son back, and he was bringing them to go see his parents or see his father or I think something like that or whatever. He left the child in the car to go buy cigarettes and food and God know what else. This is a lack of knowledge, a lack of guidance, a lack of information, and a lack of just being an adult, knowing that you have a child in the back of the car. So you just gonna go get cigarettes. You probably went to go get beer too and get high also. I'm gonna add that in there. These situations like this, they supposed to take him right away to basically to check his urine to make sure he's not high. You know, to make sure he's not high, he wasn't drunk. Because you left the child in there for 5 hours. Where were you? That means that you was doing something. You was getting high. You was smoking. You was doing something that you ain't supposed to have been doing. Say 13 said, hi, just passing by to say hi. Jesus love you so. Thank you so much. I feel the same. Thank you so much. Was it a worker? Yes, it was a worker. Yes, it was a contractor. I guess it's child welfare custody, something like the child was getting abused, or there was stuff that was going on. They felt that the child needed to get out the home because all the stuff was going on, so they placed the child in their custody, and basically, they was giving home visits and stuff like that. It was a worker. It was a worker there. It was a worker that left that child in the car while he go smoke cigarettes and go shopping. They said he was shopping for family. He was shopping for his family, he was shopping for himself, and I think he was drinking and smoking. 5 hours? Nah, that's too much. And then you went into your home, you went to sleep, and left the child in the car. You didn't know that child was in the car because you probably was high. You was high. Ain't nobody gonna leave a child in the car. You was high and you was drunk, and if they test his urine and test his blood, they see that he was high and drunk, and you know what? He should be convicted and go to jail for child neglect. That's right. 100%. He was off getting high. He was getting high. This person was getting high. You went to your house to get high, and you probably was drinking, and you forgot that you had the child in the car. You thought you was bleeding slick, and you left the child in the car. That's exactly what you did. In this heat, while you under the AC laid up, getting all high and drunk, and laid down and sleep, and then woke up and said, oh, the child. And then you call the cops. Said it was neglect. No, they seen you go in the store, buying food, probably buying beer, whatever else you was doing. You was getting high. That's exactly what you was doing. We know it. if they would check your blood and check your urine, it would test that you was getting high. This is neglect at the high form. No parent should be suffering with this. And look at this, you know. And this is sad. This is really, really sad. I don't want to keep revisiting the video again. Thank you so much, you know. And we need to do better as parents. We need to do better as parents, because it's not just only this individual that was placed in this work of custody. It's the parents. The parents for it too. Why was he placed in the custody of children children safety in the first place? What was you doing inside the home? What was you doing? So these questions need to be answered too. What was you doing as parents? Was you getting high and drinking around this child? Was you fighting, constantly using drugs? Because, you know, inside our community, this is what we do right in front of our children. You know what I'm saying? Let's call ace. Let's call ace a ace. This is what we do, man. We smoking, we drinking, we cursing, we doing all these activities in front of our children. And this is bad. We need to change the narrative of our civilization, because you know what it is? This is trauma. This is trauma and generation curses that's passed upon us from generation. We got to break this curse, man. We got to break this curse, man. We got children that's looking up to us that we have to raise. We brought this child in the world, and we got to raise them together. This is an actual true fact, you know? Yeah. Lady said, forever repeating that cycle. Yes, we got to break it. We got to break this cycle, man. This cycle is upon every generation after generation after generation. You know, this curse. It's a curse upon this generation, this civilization that was placed here and procreated for our communities to destroy each other and not uplift each other. This is an actual true fact, and this is the result of basically, right, not tending to your child, not taking care of your child, and putting, you know, alcohol and putting weed, Don Julio, Hennessy, and anything else before our children to get high, to get drunk. And this is sad, man. This is sad. And doing domestic violence in front of our children. And I'm not saying that they were doing it, but in our community, it'd be a lot of that stuff going down, man. It'd be a lot of that stuff going down. Yes, it's an actual fact. I don't, you know, everybody knows it, but we need to clean house and fix this, so this don't happen again. This don't happen again. Do not allow your child to be raised and placed in another home. Don't do that. Don't do it. That goes for me. That goes for anybody. Do not allow your child to be raised by ACS. By ACS. Our New York City is called ACS. Right? That's what it's called. Children Protective Service. That's where he was at. Why was he there? These are questions that is unknown. We know that there's a child that's passed away. People talking about, you better get millions. Got nothing to do with the money. That's what you're thinking about? We just lost that child. So you see how people think? You better sue them for millions. This is exactly why we are stuck the way we are. For fame, fortune, and riches. This is sad. So this is the reason why I reported, is because it's to bring awareness. Don't allow the system, don't allow anybody to raise our child. We raise our own child. The beginning of the day, the end of the day, in the middle of the day, and the Alpha Omega to creating everything in existence will make a way for us. That's right. He will make a way. We just got to believe, man. We just got to believe. And this is a sad situation. This is sad. And I just hope and pray that the family can get some closure and get some help, because they're going to need it. They're really going to need it. And yeah, listen to some jazz music. So thank you so much for being in tune, liking and sharing, subscribing. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great and amazing evening. I'm about to go live again at 9:30. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I'm going live again at 9:30. Peace, y'all. Peace. Peace.